Hey y'all, it's Mr. Allen, back at it again with another video. I appreciate everyone for tuning in today, and I just want to say I appreciate any support you want to show to the video today. Like, comment, subscribe, everything is appreciated. With that, let's get right into it. Today, we're going to talk about my top 10 experiences since joining Pokemon Go. It's another Pokemon Go related video. I originally joined back in like mid-2018. And in mid-2018, I played till about the beginning of 2019, and then I fell off the game until about the end of 2021, and ever since then I picked it back up and I became like an avid player of the game, and it's been like a really good experience since I started doing it. The community, everything, it's become like a relatively big hobby of mine. So I'm gonna try to make some more videos talking about it and hopefully doing little adventures in the future. But with that, let's get right into it with number 10. Number 10 is, I recently used my Master Ball. My Master Ball, I used my Master Ball to catch a Galarian Zapdos. It was my first legendary bird. I have been trying to catch those birds for like 7-8 months at that point. So first opportunity I got, I was like doing it. I had to walk like 3 or 4 times out in the scorching hot sun to even get one to spawn. So when one spawned, I just went ahead and used it, but I don't actually regret it like some people I guess think that they would, using it on a bird, just because I don't know, I don't think I would have a legendary bird if it wasn't for me using the Master Ball. But that was a really good experience. I have it at 10 because I did have to use my one and only Master Ball to get the bird, but altogether it was still a really good experience, and I'm glad they gave me the opportunity to catch the bird in the first place, because I was personally struggling to get any of them. I had encountered pretty much every single one at that point and not gotten one. Number 9, I caught, this was just a random day out playing with my girlfriend, and I caught a full odds shiny Typhlosion. This full odds shiny Typhlosion is one of my favorite Pokemons. My bad, it doesn't start as a Typhlosion. I got it as a Cyndaquil, but I quickly evolved it after realizing it had really good IVs as a shiny. And I was just like, oh, I want the shiny Typhlosion. And it's the one and only Typhlosion I have in my account. I really do want to get a good normal Cyndaquil to get a good Typhlosion. But for now, I just have a really good shiny one, and that was still like a really good experience. And you know, I use that Typhlosion a lot, and Typhlosion's one of my favorites. So you know, it's just really, that's a really good and you know, pretty good experience on the list here. Number 8 is me getting my shiny Lugia. My shiny Lugia, I grinded on raids for it. I did like probably 6-7 raids, and then I finally got it, and it happened early, and I'm glad because I was only gonna spend like $10 on it. But yeah, no, it was, I did it, I got the shiny Lugia like days before they changed the raid limit, so where you can only do 5 raids in a day. So like, I couldn't just sit down when I had like a little bit of spare money and just do a bunch of raids. I had to like span it out over a few days now. But it was the last time I could really like super grind for a shiny, and thankfully with the Lugia it gave it to me pretty early, so I didn't have to. But you know, I really look at it as a trophy commemorating, you know, that wave of raids dying and the way they work dying. And I mean, honestly, most people don't do more than 5 raids a day. I don't personally do more than 5 raids a day, so I think it's a decent rule change at the end of the day. But like, I don't really see why they did it either. I guess it's just to prevent extreme, like any kind of extreme, you know, use of the feature, because they want to promote you know, going outside and the spawns in that part of the game, which is, you know, I get them wanting to do that because that was like the original goal of Pokemon Go. But I got that right before that whole change. It was an awesome experience. Number 7 is me getting shiny Smeargle from the snapshots. They did a shiny Smeargle thing a while back where there was an enchanted thing where you could get 5 shiny Smeargles, or no, 5 Smeargle encounters from the snapshots a day. And I did it every day, 5 times a day, trying to grind for this shiny Smeargle. And on the second to last day of the thing, and I think it was like a 3-4 day thing, So I got it like the day before it was about to end. I got the shiny Smeargle, and I love that shiny Smeargle. It's like definitely one of my favorite catches I got, for sure, for sure. Dino Community Day. This was one of the first big like community day event I got to be a part of when I rejoined like the community. It was definitely like the first one I was like out and walking and participating in. It was good weather. It was a really good experience, and I was with some good people and just had a really good time. And I caught a bunch of dinos, and thankfully I caught a shiny dino, and I caught myself a good dino. So I now have a good IV Hydreigon and a shiny Hydreigon. The big highlight here is I have a shiny Hydreigon, and I love Hydreigon. He's one of my favorite Pokemon, so having that shiny is super cool to me. Number 5 is my Dialga. My first legendary I ever caught was Dialga, because when I first joined back up into the game, big part of the hype was not only was Shadow Mewtwo was in raids, but we were too weak to fend him off. But right after that, they put Palkia and Dialga in the game a little bit after that, and then we decided to actually take on Dialga because there were some people at the local park we were at, and even though we defeated the Dialga together and stuff, and she caught her Dialga, which ended up being really good. My girlfriend caught her Dialga, which was really good, and then everybody else caught theirs, and I was sitting there struggling. I was like on my like third last ball. You know, I was getting close to losing the Dialga, and I was starting to be like, okay, she caught hers. I'm gonna let her luck rub off on me. I hand her the phone. She misses one time. You know, it pops back out. It looks bad. I have like 2 or 3 more tries. So I've done like a million. So I tell her to go ahead, try it one more time. I'll do the last 2 or whatever. And then she does it that time, and she gets a great throw, and it locks in. I get it. It isn't as good as hers. It's like a 2-star Dialga, but it was my first legendary, and Dialga is one of my favorite legendaries. So it's cool that I have one at all, in my opinion, especially because I don't really know when they're coming back to raids. They'll probably come back at some point, but it might be a little bit. I definitely will be grinding for that Dialga. And I don't have a Palkia yet, so I definitely probably need to do that too. Number 4 is my 0%ers. I have a few 0%ers that I'm really proud of, breaking into the upper level of the top 5 here. I have a Shadow 0% Ducklet from Team Rocket leaders, Team Rocket grunts. And I remember when I first saw that this thing was 0%, I was like, man, I don't hear nobody talking about Shadow 0%ers. But like I'm just assuming that thing's like super rare, and like it's cool. It's not shiny or nothing, but it is a 0% Shadow Ducklet, and it's one of my 2 0%ers. My other really cool 0%er is I have a 0% Larvitar, and this 0% Larvitar could be a 0% Tyranitar one day, but I'm not really sure what I want to do with it yet. All I know is I'm not getting rid of it because I'm pretty sure it's pretty rare, and it's definitely because 0%s are rare. Those are definitely some of the cooler catches I have. Number 3, getting my shiny Ditto. This is huge. I really wanted the shiny Ditto when Dino Community Day was going down, because a lot of the Pokemon could accidentally or could turn into Dinos or could turn into Dittos. So what we did is I was grinding, just catching everything, because I wanted the Dinos, I wanted the Dittos, and I just so happened to catch a pretty bad IV shiny Ditto. But I'm pretty sure any shiny Ditto is pretty rare, and also I just like Ditto a lot, and shiny Ditto, so like it's super big W catch for me. Number 2 is getting lucky. First raid I ever did of Kyurem, I got shiny Kyurem. Number 2 is shiny Kyurem. This was amazing. I go into a raid, it's shiny. I know I'm about to catch this shiny Kyurem. It's awesome. It's still one of my favorite catches. I love it. I already really liked Kyurem, but I never would have thought I was gonna get the shiny, and I wasn't even like planning to grind for the shiny that day. But after I caught the shiny, I did run into a conundrum where I was like, now I just need a normal Kyurem of some kind. So I go back and I do a raid, and it runs from me. And then I like have to do a third one, and I do catch a a pretty mid-IV'd normal Kyurem, but I do have a normal Kyurem. So I ended up with both in the end, but first raid, shiny Kyurem, really lucky, decently rare shiny. I also just a really good looking shiny. My number one experience in Pokemon Go since I started avidly playing it is, a lot of these like have a story behind it, but the grind for my shiny Charizard. I have a 3-star, pretty good IV'd shiny Charizard, and I know that shiny Charizard is decently rare shiny, and also one of the best looking shinies. I'll just go ahead and say it. At least it's one of my personal favorite looking ones. Not to mention, in general, I'm just a huge fan of Charizard. It was like my favorite. It was definitely like my favorite popular Pokemon growing up. Like, I don't know, like people would bring up Pokemon when I was really young, and I was like, yeah, I like Pikachu and Charizard. But I just when I started avidly playing, I really knew I had to like get this shiny. That was like one of my big goals. And I really grinded for it. I spent like a whopping $14-15, you know, on it. And shout out to a buddy of mine that sat there with me and helped and endured that with me. But we got it, you know, 15th or so try. I got the shiny. I'm pretty sure it was like 1 in 16 odds, so it really did take like that many to catch the shiny. But it was an awesome experience overall, and like it's definitely one of my favorites I have, and I am glad, you know, I am glad that I put the money and time into it because of how much it means to me. But at the same time, you know, you know, it was like, I did have to mention the amount of raids it took and stuff, just because it was kind of absurd and like way more than I wanted it to be. The last thing I want to talk about is I have a list of the worst experiences I had, and since I started avidly playing Pokemon Go, just kind of stuff I want to note that's not so positive, because for the most part my feelings are very positive on this game. I think it's healthy, it gets you out there, you're playing a pretty fun game out in your community. It's wanting you to go places, it's giving you a reason to go places. It also gives you, it's a great thing for if you're just trying to kill some time and you having to be out somewhere and about, or if you drive a lot and you're going from location to location. That can also be a cool way to do it. But my point is, the game, my feelings on the game is mostly positive, but there is things that have happened to me that I see as kind of weird. And I already mentioned some of the weird stuff that happened on those really good ones, because, you know, some of them came with some trial and error, like the Charizard having to go through so many raids to get it. You know, like, I shouldn't have had to do that many, I feel like. But also, I guess that was the normal shiny odds. You know, if they were 16, you know, 14, 15, that's like about, like, just about right. So my first experience is how many raids it took to get any Yveltal. When Yveltal came out a little while back, I raided it probably 7-8 times and got 0 Yveltals. They all ran for me, none of them were shiny, and overall I was just very unsatisfied with the experience. Thankfully, Yveltal has recently came back into raids, like just recently, and I did do a raid, and on my first raid, it juked me, it canceled it. But like my second raid, I caught a very good, or a pretty good IV'd Yveltal. I used him the other day in some other raids, and he was a monster, so I think he's pretty good. And when you check the IVs, it says he's pretty good. So I'm decently happy with the Yveltal I eventually got, and I feel the need to mention that. But I don't know if I'll be raiding many more Yveltals unless I'm like thinking I'm gonna shiny hunt it, because not worth it at all. But at least it's a, you know, I'm glad it was a really cool Pokemon at the very least. But I really don't think it should have taken that many to even catch one, and that's like the big reason it was here. You know, I've never had a Pokemon, like, no other Pokemon in this game has ran from me that many times. And, like, I was getting, like, great, excellent throws, using the right berries. Like, I don't know what I could have been doing wrong. Working so hard to get Shadow Mewtwo. We worked really hard to get Shadow Mewtwo. When we first started playing, Mewtwo was the one in raids, and we attempted to fight one, and it totally, like, kicked our butts. And then we, you know, when it came to Shadow Mewtwo being available, because there was no normal Mewtwo, we were like, okay, let's get a Shadow Mewtwo, because Shadow Mewtwo is one of the strongest attack Pokemon for raids and PvP and stuff, and in Pokemon Go. So we were like, let's get Shadow Mewtwo, because we couldn't get the Mewtwo back then, and now we've been playing for a while, and we got some good Pokemon, and you know, I had been really grinding, so I thought I had it in the bag, and it was just a long grind, a lot of research, a lot of like time, and it took us about a day and a half to get it done. And when we both got it done, we both me and my girlfriend, we got our Shadow Mewtwo encounter, and we did it, and we got the Shadow Mewtwo, and it was awesome because we don't have a Mew, we don't have a Shadow Mewtwo, we don't have a normal Mewtwo, so getting a Mew in general was gonna be cool. So we get the Mew, it's awesome for a moment, and then we're like, okay, let's check the IVs. We check the IVs, they're both terrible. Mine's like a little better than hers was, but like it was still terrible, and like hers was even worse. And it like I totally like I felt like for all that work I should have gotten at least a decent Mewtwo. You know what I mean? Like let's up the count on the IVs there. Like that's terrible. That's 2 for 2 bad. But like it'd have been one thing like if I got a bad one and then she got a good one or something, or like she got a, you know, vice versa. But no, it was like terrible. But like I still love my Shadow Mewtwo, so this also has good and bad in the experience. But like I felt like it really, you know, it really kind of did me wrong there. The next is the actual Mew research. We've been like doing this research that supposedly gives you Mew for a long time, a mythical discovery, and there's a big we got through the first like 2 or 3 things really easy. But we're stuck on one for a long time because we wanted to, because it has a stage where you have to evolve a Magikarp, which is a Pokemon that requires you to have 400, I think, candies to evolve it. And I'm still grinding on that. I have like 370s, and I've been like really like, you know, putting rare candies and everything into it. And same with a few other Pokemon, like until Stuffle Stuffle Community Day or Spotlight Hour or whatever, I was like doing it for them. I'm doing it for Noibat because I have shiny Noibats and normal Noibats that I can't evolve. So there's other Pokemons that I definitely also have done that with. But like, yeah, man, getting that Magikarp evolved has been just the biggest blockade in getting my Mew, and there's still more after that in the research. So that research has just been dreadfully hard and like just barely doable as a normal person. So I don't know. I get it. It's Mew. It's supposed to be hard to get, but like way too much on this research. And I think they do that every now, like Niantic and Pokemon, like they do kind of go overboard on how to get some of these Pokemons, or making certain things a little complicated like that. Like I don't know. I feel like as a grown person saying that, like how's a kid gonna get none of that, you know? And I'm not saying that kids are running out there and playing this, and like unless they're with their parents or something, I imagine. But like, you know what I mean? Like I just feel like a few of these things I wish they would make a little easier, just because, you know, it is like. You know, some of these things require a lot of time, like the Mewtwo, for instance. And this research, I've been working on it. The Mew research I've been working on since like I started, and I'm still going. The last thing I want to mention here is I have these 2 Pokemon that I have shiny hunted that have eluded me. These Pokemon are Absol and Rayquaza. I've done a number of both of these raids. I've clicked on numerous Absols, I even just did my first Mega Rayquaza raid because Mega Rayquaza and just came to Go Fest. But no, I've never gotten the shiny, on either of these, and thankfully, during an event a little while back, I got a sunglasses Absol that I'm really proud of and really like, even though the IVs are pretty bad. But I have good IV. I have pretty good IV normal Rayquazas and normal Absols, but just no shinies, and those are two shinies I'm hoping I get, and I feel like I've done so much that at some point it's gotta happen, right? But that's where we're gonna end off this video today. I appreciate everyone for watching, and I hope everyone has an amazing day.